Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. You know, doing this YouTube channel, I get letters from all over the world, literally. And this one came from right there. Came from my neighbor, Jeff. When the leaves are off, you can see the roof of his house. I live in kind of a secluded area, but I can see his roof when the leaves are off, but he's the closest location to me, neighbor-wise, to my house. And he sent me an email with a question, and then he called me, and we talked on the phone about it. So I've answered his question, but it's one I've wanted to cover in a video for a long time. And I'm not going to support what I tell you today with much other than the way I was raised. I don't have a lot of science to go back up my answer. But let's get to Jeff's question. Jeff says, Mike, how important is it to use dealer hydraulic fluids? Mine is due for a full service and change, and I want to use what's best. The dealer says theirs has an additive that makes theirs better. Tractor Supply says they have the same thing, and it costs about 2/3 less. What are your thoughts? Well, I've worked in the manufacturing world and I've worked in the dealership world, but what I'm going to fall back on here is the way I was raised, Jeff. And my dad lived through the Depression, and he was tight as bark on a log with his money. But he always had good equipment, and he always used manufacturers' filters and oils in his equipment. And it cost a little bit more, but he slept better at night. And that's how I was raised, and that's what I do. When I'm ready to service my tractor, I'm going to the person that sells that brand of tractor and buying the original equipment manufacturers, the OEM, fluids and filters. Just because that's the way I was raised, and if I put a cheaper oil in there and cut corners and I had a failure, I'd kick myself from now on, because $100 difference, and that's what we're talking about here with Jeff, is not to me enough to risk a failure. Now I'm going to ask your opinion at the end. I want you to put your opinion about this topic, because I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments about this, and I want them. I want to know what you think. But the way I was raised, my dad always put the original oils back in, and some of you are going to be shocked if you bought your first tractor about how much hydraulic oil there is in there and how expensive that's going to be. And most tractors at 50 hours, they want you to get all the fluids and filters out. So if there's any residue from the manufacturing process in there, it comes out and you put all new oil in. And you're going to be a little shocked at how much that costs if you're buying your first tractor and you're used to the 1995 oil changes at Jiffy Lube, because it costs a lot of money to put the oils back in. And if you take it back to the dealer where you bought it, and I would especially recommend you do that if no other time while the tractor's under warranty, because you've got a record of having serviced it at the people that sold it to you, and there'll be no argument over whose oils and filters were used if there happened to be a major failure, which can happen with any brand. But John Deere, Kubota, New Holland, Case, Coyote, Mahindra, they all have their own brand of oil. And is it that much better than what you'd get at Tractor Supply? Well, I don't know the answer to it. I suspect that all those oils come out of the same refinery, and they're pretty close to the same. The manufacturers will put some additives in there as kind of more marketing than engine protection, so they can charge a little bit more, and maybe a lot more, maybe $100 more in Jeff's case. But I want the peace of mind to know that I gave the best service I could to my tractor. So I'm going to buy those manufacturers' oils and filters to go back in my tractor. Now, this is one of those videos where I really want comments from you. Number one, do you use manufacturers' oils and filters in your tractor? And number two, if you don't, have you ever experienced a major failure using the cheaper oils and filters? If you don't normally comment on videos, comment on this one, because I want to get as many opinions as I can from as many different viewers as I can about this topic. Now, in the future, if I ever run across somebody with a lab or with lab experience, I would be tickled to go buy the different manufacturers' oils and put them to the test and see what's in there. Do an oil analysis. I don't have access to something like that right now, but if you have somebody you know that is in the Midwest that could do that, I would love to test all the oils and see are they the same thing, because I suspect they're pretty close, probably just minor differences in them, but I don't know that. So put in the comments down below, what oils do you use? If you use the cheap stuff, have you ever had a failure? And Jeff, my opinion is spend the extra money, get the manufacturer's oil, and then you'll sleep better at night. Now I gotta tell you a couple things about Jeff. It's probably a real weird experience having a guy that does a YouTube channel in his backyard. A lot of times I'll run back here in the backyard and I'll be talking to the camera, and my neighbor on that side doesn't really know what I do. He just hears me out here, and I'm up on a hill, and I tend to shout when I'm talking to the camera. I don't know why, I've always done that. So he thinks I'm wacko. He hears me out here talking to myself loud. Jeff watches my channel, at least he knows I'm not crazy. But if he were out there right now, he's hearing every bit of this. And I hate Jeff because he, right there, has good internet, and I can't get it here. And he really doesn't need it that bad because he doesn't do a YouTube channel. I'm uploading all the time. He's got Suddenlink, which has lightning fast internet and good customer service, and I'm stuck with CenturyTel and a copper wire running into my house and the slowest internet you could possibly buy. And it's cheap, I like that, but it's slow, and I can't get Suddenlink, and I can see the top of his house when the leaves are off. So I kind of hate him for that, despise him for that fact, but he's just lucky to live. He's the last house on the line, and I can't get it, and I've tried so hard, but I'm stuck with slow internet. A lot of times I'm running to McDonald's at the last minute to upload a video in their parking lot so I can bring videos to you. But anyway, that's what goes on in the life of a YouTuber. Appreciate you watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd really be honored if you did that. And it's real easy. Just click the mic face icon and check the bell so you're notified when I post future videos. Here's a link to my website and the Tractor Fun Store with unique items for sale for the tractor owner. It helps support my channel. And here's another video you might want to watch. Thanks for watching.